Okay, so I need to tell you something about tomorrow that might completely change how you see Christmas Eve. Because what's happening in the sky tomorrow isn't just another transit. I genuinely believe it's the universe's way of delivering exactly what you've been waiting for. Here's the thing. Tomorrow, December 24th, Venus and Neptune are going to create this exact square at 29 degrees. And if you know anything about astrology, you know that 29 degrees isn't just any degree. It's the final degree, the make or break point, the moment where everything that's been building has to manifest or dissolve completely. But here's what's really getting my attention. Venus is about to leave Sagittarius and enter Capricorn right after this square perfects. Like, we're talking hours. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's the universe's way of saying, the dream you've been chasing, it's about to become real, tangible, something you can actually hold. Now, if you've been feeling this strange mix of anticipation and confusion lately, like something big is coming but you can't quite put your finger on what, stay with me on this one. There's a very specific reason that's happening, and I'm going to explain exactly why 3 signs are about to get everything they've been asking for. But first, I need to explain why I believe tomorrow isn't just important, it's pivotal, because right now, at this very moment, you're standing at the edge of a 14-year cycle that's finally coming to a close. And what happens tomorrow? I think it determines which timeline you step into for 2025. The universe has been setting this up for 14 years, and tomorrow it all comes together. So here's something most people don't realize. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. That's 14 years of dreams, illusions, and spiritual fog. 14 years of wondering what's real and what's fantasy. And tomorrow, we're at 29 degrees of Pisces, the absolute final degree of the entire zodiac. This isn't just an ending. I believe this is the ending, the closing of a massive spiritual chapter that's been writing itself since 2011. And Venus, the planet of love, money, and everything you value, is creating this intense square right at this culmination point. I've been thinking about this a lot, and honestly, this was a huge realization for me. We're not just dealing with a regular Venus-Neptune square. We're dealing with one that's happening at the most critical degree possible. It's like the universe is forcing a decision. The confusion has to clear, the illusion has to drop. The dream either becomes real or it dissolves completely. And here's what's wild. Neptune just went direct on December 10th. It was retrograde for 5 months, keeping us in this internal fog, making us question everything. But now it's moving forward again, and when it hits this square with Venus tomorrow, I think that's when the veil finally lifts. That's when you see what's actually been there all along. You're about to see through the illusion, and what's behind it might shock you. Have you been feeling like something's off in your relationships lately, like you're seeing people differently? That's not random. I think Venus squaring Neptune at these final degrees is literally forcing the truth to surface. Tomorrow, the rose-colored glasses come off, but here's the thing, and I really want you to hear this, that's not a bad thing, even if it feels intense in the moment, because what you're going to see is the truth. And the truth, that's what sets you free. For some of you, this might mean realizing that person you've been waiting for isn't who you thought they were, and that might sting. But for others, you might suddenly see that the love you've been looking for has been right there all along. Maybe in a friend, maybe in someone you overlooked, maybe even in yourself. I think the square is going to work like a cosmic truth serum. All those mixed signals, all that confusion, all the what are we energy, it's going to crystallize into clarity. And the wildest part? When Venus enters Capricorn just hours later, that clarity becomes a commitment, a real, tangible, this is happening kind of commitment. Does that resonate? Because I've been seeing this energy building for weeks now, and I really feel like tomorrow is when everything shifts from maybe to definitely. 3 signs are about to get everything, and I mean everything. So this is where it gets really interesting. While everyone's going to feel this energy, there are 3 signs that are perfectly positioned to receive what I can only describe as a cosmic jackpot. And if you're a Capricorn, Virgo, or Pisces, or have these signs in important places in your chart, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Let me break this down for you, because the geometry here is actually incredible. Capricorn, you're literally becoming magnetic. Okay, if you're a Capricorn, tomorrow might be the most important day of your entire year, and I don't say that lightly, because Venus entering your sign on Christmas Eve while making this powerful aspect, that's not just lucky, I think that's destiny. You've been through it, haven't you? The last few years have felt like you've been climbing this impossible mountain. Pluto's been in your sign since 2008, completely transforming who you are from the ground up. And now you're about to be rewarded for everything you've endured. When Venus crosses into your sign tomorrow, it's joining the Sun and Mars. That's a stellium, a concentration of power that's honestly kind of rare. You're not just attractive right now, you're magnetic. You're not just getting attention, you're commanding it. And here's what I think is going to happen. That relationship you've been unsure about, it's either going to level up dramatically or the right person is going to appear as if out of nowhere. That career move you've been considering, the door's not just opening, it's being thrown wide open. The recognition you've been waiting for, it's coming, and it's coming with tangible rewards attached. The Christmas miracle for you isn't just one thing. I really believe it's everything clicking into place at once. Like the universe is saying, you've waited long enough. Here's everything you asked for, all at once. Virgo, your luck is about to explode. If you're a Virgo, tomorrow is literally marked as your luckiest day of the month, and considering it's Christmas Eve with this rare cosmic alignment, I think it might be your luckiest day of the year. Here's why. When Venus enters Capricorn, it's going to trine your sign. That's the best aspect possible. It's pure flow, pure harmony, pure everything's working out energy. And it's hitting your 5th house if you're a Virgo rising, which is the house of joy, creativity, romance, and this is important, speculation and risks that pay off. You know how you're usually so careful, so measured, always thinking 3 steps ahead? Tomorrow, I think the universe is going to reward you for taking a chance. That creative project you've been sitting on, launch it. That person you've been thinking about, reach out. That opportunity that seems too good to be true, it's not. And here's what really gets me excited for you. The research I've been looking at specifically mentions a financial windfall through partnerships. So if someone approaches you tomorrow with an opportunity, or if you get an unexpected message about money, don't dismiss it. This is your moment. But it's not just about money. I think you're about to experience joy in a way you haven't in a really long time. Pure, uncomplicated joy. The kind that makes you remember why life is actually beautiful. And honestly, after how hard you've been working, you deserve every bit of it. Pisces, your 14-year journey is finally paying off. Okay, if you're a Pisces, this is huge for you, like monumentally huge, because Neptune is your planet and it's been in your sign since 2011. You've been living in this cosmic fog for over a decade, and tomorrow the fog clears. I know it's been confusing. I know you've felt lost at times, like you can't quite figure out who you are or where you're going. That's because Neptune has been dissolving your boundaries, making everything feel fluid and uncertain. But here's what I think is about to happen. All that confusion has actually been preparation. Tomorrow, at 29 degrees of your sign, Neptune is going to crystallize everything it's been teaching you. All those spiritual experiences, all those intuitive hits, all those moments where you felt connected to something bigger, they're about to make sense. They're about to become your superpower. And when Venus squares Neptune from your career sector, I think the world is finally going to see you for the visionary you actually are, not the confused dreamer people might have written you off as, but the actual visionary who's been downloading cosmic information this whole time. The miracle for you is recognition, finally being seen, finally being understood, and more importantly, finally understanding yourself. The career opportunity, the relationship clarity, the creative breakthrough, it's all coming because you're finally ready to receive it. You've been in training for 14 years. Tomorrow you graduate. Something strange happened this morning, and I think it's connected. So I woke up this morning with this really intense feeling. You know when you just know something's about to happen, like the air itself feels different. That's exactly what I've been experiencing, and I've been hearing from so many of you that you're feeling it too. There's this building pressure, right? This sense that something's about to pop, and I don't think it's anxiety, I think it's anticipation. Your body knows what's coming, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. I've been noticing these little synchronicities everywhere, numbers showing up repeatedly, songs with specific lyrics playing at exactly the right moment, old friends reaching out of nowhere. Has that been happening to you? Because here's what I believe, the universe is already preparing you for tomorrow. It's dropping hints, leaving breadcrumbs, making sure you're in exactly the right place at the right time to receive what's coming. The veil is already starting to thin, can you feel it? Right now, as we're moving into this exact square, reality itself feels different. It's like everything's more vivid but also slightly dreamlike at the same time. You might be having incredibly intense dreams. Or maybe you're getting these flashes of insight that feel like they're coming from somewhere else entirely. That's the Neptune effect. When Neptune's this active, especially at the last degree of Pisces, the boundary between the spiritual and physical worlds gets really thin. And tomorrow, when Venus creates this exact square, I think that boundary might dissolve completely for a moment. This is why some of you might receive your miracle in the most unexpected way, through a dream that gives you the answer you've been seeking, through a sudden knowing that changes everything, through a synchronicity so perfect it can't be coincidence. And here's what's really important. You have to be open to receiving it, because the universe can't deliver a miracle to a closed door. Does that make sense? Your Christmas miracle might not look like what you expected, and that's actually perfect. Here's something I've learned about how the universe works. It rarely gives us exactly what we think we want. It gives us what we actually need. And tomorrow, with Venus at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, the universe is about to show you the difference. Maybe you've been hoping for one specific person to come back, but tomorrow someone even better shows up. Maybe you've been fixated on one particular job, but tomorrow an opportunity you never considered presents itself. Maybe you've been trying to force something that's actually been blocking your real blessing. The square between Venus and Neptune is going to reveal what's illusion and what's real, and when Venus enters Capricorn, the real thing is going to solidify right in front of you. But you have to be willing to let go of the fantasy to receive the reality. And I know that's scary, but I really believe the reality is going to be so much better than the fantasy ever was. The hours between 29 degrees and 0 degrees are pure magic. Tomorrow there's going to be this window, probably just a few hours, where Venus is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, making this exact square to Neptune. And then, boom, it crosses into Capricorn, 0 degrees, a complete fresh start. This is what astrologers call a critical degree shift, and honestly, it's one of the most powerful things I've seen in a chart all year. Because you're not just getting the culmination energy of 29 degrees. You're immediately getting the fresh start energy of 0 degrees. It's like a death and rebirth happening within hours. And it's happening on Christmas Eve. I mean, come on. The symbolism is almost too perfect, right? The universe really said, let me make this as obvious as possible. Here's your gift. Here's your miracle. Here's your fresh start. So tomorrow, pay attention to everything, every conversation, every message, every sudden thought or feeling, because in those hours, I believe the universe is going to be speaking directly to you. Here's what you need to do tomorrow to receive your miracle. Okay, so I want to give you something practical here, because knowing about the energy is one thing, but actually working with it, that's where the magic happens. First thing, tomorrow morning before the day gets crazy, take a moment to get really clear on what you're ready to receive. Not what you think you should want, not what other people want for you, but what your soul is actually calling in. Write it down if you can, or just hold it clearly in your mind. Second, and this is important, be willing to release whatever needs to go. If a relationship needs to end, let it end with grace. If a belief about yourself needs to die, let it die. The square is going to bring things to a head, and fighting against it is just going to create more chaos. Third, stay open to unexpected delivery methods. Your miracle might come through a text message, or a random conversation, or a sudden realization while you're doing something completely mundane. The universe doesn't always announce itself with trumpets, you know. And finally, trust the timing. If something doesn't happen exactly on Christmas Eve, that doesn't mean it's not coming. Sometimes the universe plants the seed on one day and it blooms the next, or the next week. The important thing is that tomorrow the cosmic door opens. What comes through it might surprise you. This is bigger than just tomorrow. This is about who you're becoming. You know, I've been thinking a lot about why this feels so significant, and I really believe it's because we're not just talking about one lucky day. We're talking about a turning point that's going to redirect your entire path. When Venus squares Neptune at the final degree and then enters Capricorn, it's like you're graduating from one level of understanding about love and value to a completely different one. The lessons you've been learning, especially since 2011, they're about to click into place. Tomorrow isn't just bringing you a gift. I think it's bringing you a graduation certificate. You've passed the test, you've learned the lessons, you've earned what's coming. And that's why it feels like a miracle, because you're finally ready to receive what you've always deserved. The universe has been preparing you for this. Every disappointment, every confusion, every moment where you wondered if you were on the right path, it's all been leading to tomorrow. To this moment where the fog clears and you see exactly where you're meant to be going. And if that feels overwhelming or exciting or both, that's totally normal. Big shifts are supposed to feel big. You're supposed to feel the magnitude of what's happening because this is your life changing in real time. All right, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Seriously, tomorrow is going to be incredible, and I'm so glad we could talk about this together. If this resonated with you and you want to see more content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. And please drop a comment below. I really want to hear what happens for you tomorrow. What signs are you seeing? What miracles show up? I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know how this unfolds for you. We're all going through this together. Take care of yourself, trust what's coming, and I'll see you in the next one.